our eyes are remarkable, but they don't always show us the full picture right away. It's like going to visit the optometrist, the eye doctor. When you first look at the chart, the letters might seem a little blurry, but as the doctor flips through different lenses, little by little, it improves and suddenly everything becomes clear. It's not that the image changed, it's that you finally had the right lens to look through. The same is true for sermon series media and visuals. Sometimes the impact you're looking for isn't just about finding the right look that already exists, it's about shaping and crafting one that brings your message into focus in a powerful way. That's where the Church Visuals team comes in. In this session, I'm talking with Steve Dirks, Church Visuals Director of Custom Media, about how custom visuals can take a blurry series idea and bring it to life with clarity, creativity, and impact. All right, we're sitting here with Steve, good buddy of mine. Steve, you are kind of air traffic control for all things church visuals, but wanted to talk to you specifically about how churches go about doing custom work with church visuals. So how are you today? You doing good?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. I'm excited to jump in with you.
Good. Well, listen, this is something that I know is kind of personal for me because our church has actually done a lot of this custom work with church visuals. So I've seen kind of both sides of the process, but certainly for somebody that wants to kind of dip a toe in here, it might be a little bit intimidating. Maybe there's some parts of the process that can be kind of hard to understand. So where does a church begin? If they've been doing ready-made for a while and they've been using some of the material we already have created, but decide they want a specific look and they want something to kind of be a part of a sermon series they're doing and have it feel a certain way, how does someone actually go about beginning a conversation with church visuals to do some kind of custom project like that?
There is a easy submission button to start a single project. And what that does is just take you to an initial form for me to get an idea of what you might be wanting. You don't necessarily have to have everything flushed out there. If you do, like if you're a pastor that's coming in with, I got my title, I got my subtitle,
Right.
I've got a lesson plan, I've got a vision, I just want you to execute it. You can do that. But if you are like, man, I don't know, I just need to talk to someone, that's a great spot to schedule a meeting with me, and I can help walk through those questions for you, because that's really what we're going to ask for every single project. We're going to try to figure out, what do we need to put in the content, as far as if we're doing a graphic, what's the driving title of our graphic? Is there any copy that needs to be included in the graphic? Is there a vision that you have for how this graphic should look? So have you seen something that a church is doing that you're kind of like, oh, I like that stylistic approach? Or have you seen a series way back in the day that you're like, man, I love that style from back in the early 2000s. I kind of have a retro series. I want to do that. Any of those kinds of things, we're going to try to kind of prime the pump and figure out, is there something that you're thinking that's the bullseye that we can go ahead and latch onto? And then oftentimes we want to try to figure out, like, what is an overview of what you're teaching, so that as we craft either visual messaging and graphics or visual messaging in video with actual copy, we're actually pulling from content that you want us to utilize that's actually going to be tailored around your series.
So it sounds like super, super custom. So when we say custom, we mean literally we can create anything as long as we have a conversation and begin to kind of flesh out what that might look like. So just a phone call could get that started.
Yeah.
How did somebody find the submission button? Is that on the website if somebody wants to submit their ideas straight to you?
Yeah, so when you log in, when you create a plan, you're actually going to get a dashboard account that allows you to click on a custom section and see a button that actually takes you to a submission form for that plan. They're going to actually have a button that takes you to your queue. So you're actually going to see a live queue of any projects that you've submitted into our platform. And you're going to see where they are in the process, because we care about quality. We're going to work on one at a time, and so therefore you're going to see which project is actually being worked on currently. And if you need to shift your queue around, you can always let me know, and we can do that for you, so that stuff that you need to work on next can be done.
So if I'm a pastor and I know I want to do this particular sermon series, and I go and I submit something, what is the most helpful stuff for you to get from me to make sure that we can expedite the process to get a really great graphic back to start the process of creating the sermon series? What's the most important things for you to have from a pastor?
There's three important things that I want to try to figure out. One is, what do you actually, if you have a preconceived idea of what the visual should look like. So is there anything we're targeting visual style or reference. Now, this doesn't mean you have to know what that exactly is, but like what helps with this is like, hey, I've seen samples of churches posting this type of graphic. This is the kind of stylistic approach that I want. And the reason that's helpful is then we know where your bullseye is. We know how to kind of segment the graphic world down into like, okay, this is the direction we're going.
Yeah.
Now, how do we custom make something for you that's not a replication of something else someone's done? We want to make custom art that's unique to you, but understanding style, because there's different styles. There's retro, there's, 80s themes, there's, just simple typography. So whatever that looks like, and however you want to send that to me, whether that's a screen grab of, hey, I saw this church, Life Church did this series 5 years ago, and this is kind of the same vibe I'm going for. Any of that kind of stuff is helpful. So oftentimes what you're teaching, like it doesn't have to be every single sermon laid out, but like an overview of your teaching plan that you would give to your teaching team is helpful, because then we can understand what is the overarching view of this sermon series, the vision behind it, and kind of capture some of that in the graphical process and the video process as well. And then other key is like any copy. So what is the actual title of your series?
Right.
If there is a specific subtitle, is there any specific details that you want included on the graphic? Because that just helps us know, okay, we need to make sure that's included when we send the graphic to you.
So when that graphic gets started, is there editing along the way? Like, will I see something that I can tweak or comment on to come back to you guys? What does that look like?
Yeah, so once you submit a project and we get the initial form, like the initial questions up front, we're going to take it to our team for a graphic and have them spend 4 to 5 business days designing something for you. They're going to design, we like to try to design 2 comps at least for you. So when I send you an email back, you're going to get 2 design comps to look at, and you'll have an opportunity to do a complimentary round of revisions. So if there's something on there that we need to tweak or shift, whether it's a color, whether it's an image, whether it's a font you'd like to shift, a lot of times I'll get like, hey, I love the first one's look, but I like the font on the second one.
Right.
Can we merge the two? Whatever those revisions are that we need to do to hit the bullseye for you, we definitely will do that on a round of revisions. And then we're looking to try to send back one graphic that hopefully is close to our final. There might be a small tweak or there. And then once we get a final graphic approved from you, we'll drop out a JPEG file with the title graphic, a JPEG file with the background of the graphic, a Photoshop file. We always give you the Photoshop file that you could then load into Canva or load into Adobe Suite and use, and then also the assets that we use. We'll list out what fonts we use, so you can go and secure those if you want to do that on your end.
Yeah, I know our student ministry exclusively uses you guys for all of our youth ministry sermon series throughout the year, and it's been the most helpful thing to be able to do write-ups and create kind of the look and the feel that we want and be able to target it directly. And so when we get graphics back from you guys and we present it to students on a Wednesday or Sunday night, I feel like we've really created something really cool, and it's the exact vision that we wanted from the get-go. So how can somebody find the kind of pricing tiers? Is that on the website as well?
Yeah, so if you go to the pricing link at the top of the Church Visuals website, you'll see the pricing page there. The plans are listed there. It's $6.99 for graphics per month. Single projects is like what it sounds like. If you're just like, man, I want to get a quote for a single sermon series or a single video, we can quote that out for you. And then we also have the opportunity where if you're looking for a longer term partnership for a year or more, and you're like, man, I don't need like all the stuff listed in the plan. I just want a contract, I just want to use you guys for the series, which, Trevor, that's what some of your student ministry has done at times, where it's, hey, I know I've got 6 sermon series for the fall that we're doing. Right. Can we just get a quote for doing those 6? So we can do a partnership plan where we'll actually customize what is actually needed for that season of time. Cool. And we can get you a little bit of a discount for letting us know what you would be coming to us for that period of time.
Truly custom. Yep. So is there a custom piece that you've done recently that you think about that was really cool, really creative, that the team really enjoyed working on?
Yeah, there was one. It wasn't this past Christmas. It was the Christmas before. There's been many that we've done, but this one just stood out because it was a vision to do an opener video almost like one that Apple had actually released at an event. And so the idea was they were kicking off their Christmas concert event, and they wanted a piece of a motion graphic that in essence was an asteroid flying through the galaxy. It was pretty custom. But what's really cool about it is some of those things, Apple might have spent, enormous amounts of money. And so the vision was, hey, is there a way to create this in a budget that works with our church,
Right.
but create something like that? And it was really cool because we went through a process of, looking at what do you want it to, storyboarding it out, what do you want it to look like, and then working on how can we animate that in a way that's affordable, that meets the budget requirement for where we need to be at. So that was one that stands out just because that was a really, really custom piece where it was like, hey, we want it to be something like this to start our service. But there's been many graphics that, I could probably send you 10 or 20 where what I deal with consistently most often is churches come with, hey, this is a really cool idea of a sermon title. And then our team just crushes like a really cool way to visually communicate that message and story. That happens all the time.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is seeing these custom projects go up on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, somewhere from different churches, be able to look at the work that Church Visuals has done, actually being, presented within the church space is a really cool thing to do. So Steve, thank you so much for your time, man. Like you really do awesome work at Church Visuals, and you kind of keep it all flowing. So thanks for all of that. Have a great day, man. Talk to you soon. Recapping this session, there are 3 main points that help us create a custom sermon series idea that really makes a difference. Number 1, think through the message that you want to communicate. The clearer the idea, the better the result. This can make the process smooth and easy. Number 2, take time to determine what deliverables you might need for the sermon series. Bumper videos, motion backgrounds, social media squares, print material, and much more. Number 3, determine your budget and what your ministry can afford. Having stunning sermon visuals may be easier and more affordable than you ever thought possible. See you in session 9.